It's been a great day and a half so far. We've been very fortunate to have Canada's Minister of Indigenous Services, who is talking about issues that are being really challenging for First Nations communities around the country. She's really committed to making sure that she can move that agenda ahead and using P3s, so that's really wonderful. We, of course, had an interesting session with the Premier of Ontario. She's got a huge investment in infrastructure that she's very dedicated to making sure really achieves outcomes that will really make a difference for Ontarians. And we've had a wonderful group of concurrent sessions on all the issues that are topical today when it comes to infrastructure and P3. So I'm really delighted with the way it's gone so far. It was a great morning this morning. We were very fortunate to be able to have both the Canada's Minister of Infrastructure, Amarjeet Sohi, on stage with the Mayor of Toronto, John Tory, was really exceptional. And then, what a unique opportunity. We were asked by the Toronto Stock Exchange to actually open the market right here at the conference. That was really wonderful. And we're not done yet, so pretty good. Well, we've been very fortunate right from the beginning of P3s in Canada in that the federal government, so prime ministers and key ministers in the cabinet, have been strong proponents of investing in infrastructure and have had a particular affinity for P3s. So that's made a huge difference in the Canadian context. And when you get that kind of support at the very top, it trickles down easily, and that gets us equal support at the provincial level, territorial, municipalities. So we've always had the benefit of that kind of ambassadors on behalf of P3s at the senior political level. P3s and what are P3s is evolving, right? It gets better every year, and in fact, we get better at it with every contract that's concluded. But what's interesting is that many of the projects that we have in our database that are P3s that are 20, 25 years old, they might not actually pass today's sniff test for P3s. So, as I say, that the definition and the market is evolving. So that's very interesting. And also, the issues that are relevant today are very different from ones that they were 25 years or even 5 years ago. And the communities that are engaging in P3s are changing. So the landscape in Canada is evolving. As I mentioned a moment ago, Indigenous services, the addressing all those issues that First Nations communities and others are facing in Canada around water, wastewater, and housing and schooling, that wasn't on the agenda a couple of years back. Municipalities now taking over the space in a sense, because that's where the growth of opportunity is. So, in fact, the clients, if you like, for P3s in Canada is evolving, that whole group is evolving. And so that's made for a different focus at this year's conference. And as you may have seen, we've really gone very international this year. So we have speakers and representatives from more than 20 countries. So, this went from being an event 25 years ago, very focused on Canada and a few people in Canada who wanted to move the agenda ahead, to an event like today's where you've got 1,200 people coming from 21, 22 countries and bringing both their experience and their interest in learning more about others' experience all to the fore for 2 days here in Toronto. It's pretty great. Part of the conference was meant to have a little bit of a look back. What have we accomplished over 25 years? And not just in Canada, but around the world. But also to make sure that, don't get stuck in the way you've done things in the past. In fact, the future is really where the action is. It makes no difference what you're talking about in life, but certainly in this business, it's the future that's really interesting. And the timing's great because we're celebrating 25 years, so it's a nice milestone. Canada's 150th birthday is this year, so we've got 2 reasons to begin to look forward rather than to simply enjoy the past. And so that's really been infecting the program, if you like, over the 2 days. And you'll see it again at lunch today with Dan Doctoroff, who's speaking about sidewalk lags. And that's a very interesting initiative which has the potential to transform, again, city infrastructure, really take it well beyond where it is now. And it's all a function of digitization and all the sort of modern issues that are coming to bear. And Minister Sohi this morning spoke about Canada's new Smart Cities initiative. That's what these speakers are really trying to address, because you can define smart cities any way you like, but the reality is it's about the next generation of municipal leadership and municipal infrastructure. So it's very cool and it's very exciting, and that's why the rest of today's program is really going to be very interesting.